So me being 23 years old, I am someone who has lived and experienced through the whole 2015, 16, 17, and 18 wave of the up and coming rappers in the SoundCloud era. Of course, me and anybody else who's watching this video, you was there during the cloud rap, mumble rap, emo trap rap era. We had people like Father, we had people like Lil Uzi, Yachty, X. We even have some honorable mentions such as people like I Love McConan, Keith Ape, Made in Toyo, Ugly God, the whole Goth Boy Clique era, Raider Clan, and many, many more. But just as these artists come into our lives and they hit the peak of their popularity, you begin to realize that not everyone can stay there at the top. Some fall off, and some of them fall off even harder. And during that era, there is a lot of people who has really made a huge movement in the SoundCloud era, hitting that mainstream peak, and they was never able to reach that full potential, and then they suddenly pass away. But one thing that always like somewhat made me a little uncomfortable, especially when it comes down to the label part, I wonder what goes through their minds on when once that artist passes away, they feel like they have every right to start dropping a whole bunch of posthumous albums. Sometimes I wonder, is posthumous albums even worth it in their career?
Some of these are so good, I can't just let it sit on my hard drive because I have in my will that if I die, they can't put no fucking post out. That's fucking gross. Like, that's like years and get like some random feature on it, some nigga I didn't fuck with, and be like, you done? I'm like, no.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It is your boy Smokey, and on today's video I'm gonna be talking about my thoughts and giving my opinions on posthumous albums. And before I get started with this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to the guy who commented on my last video, who basically gave me the idea to make a video about this, explaining this whole posthumous thing. So shout out to you and thank you, Pez Talks 8663. But in my last video that made me want to talk about this was, he had commented down, how do you feel about falling down with X and Lil Peep? In my opinion, that should have never been made nor released, but I'm quite interested in what you think. So I'm basically gonna start this video off by answering this question first. The way I felt about that song in itself, back then, cause I think when it released, I was probably in my, I think I was in my junior year. So I was probably like, what? I think 15 at the time, 15, 16, something like that. I think that during that time when it first dropped, I had no issues with it. And I feel like I had no issues with it because I was so blinded, because I was such a fan of both of them. I was a huge fan of X, and I was definitely a huge fan of Lil Peep. Like, those two guys, they were like top dogs in the emo rap era scene. And I really do enjoy the song. Even up to now, I still enjoy the song. But as me getting older and now being 23 years old, I realized that, you know, when you're still a fan of both of them and you realize that, I think there was a time period where Lil Peep and Ski Mask had beef with each other. And you know how it is, if Ski Mask had beef with anybody during that time period, X, he had even more beef with you.
Like, here's the fucked up part, cause Ski had beef with Lil Peep back in the day, and that's why I never co-signed him, I never talked to him, I would never do anything with him. But we had similar friends, we knew similar people, and all I would hear was good things about him. But due to my loyalty to Ski, I would not fuck with, bro. My loyalty to Ski, bro, and it's funny because my loyalty to Ski oversees a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And people didn't really realize that. Like, that's why I got punched in my shit. Like, not to put bro in that situation, but that's why I got punched in my shit. Because he got jumped. And he felt like it was because I was defending him, but he was gonna get jumped regardless. He got jumped, and that drove me to the edge to go defend my friend.
I feel like growing up now, I definitely can see where somebody might see this as a cash grab. Because look, from the outside looking in, you had two of the biggest rappers in that category, in that subgenre. You had two of the biggest ones who have passed away. People are going to listen to that. That's money to be made right there, because that created a lot of what ifs. Like, what if they would have both been alive and they was able to make music? I'm definitely not mad at the fact that it did come out, but I just in my mind, I can only hope that the reasoning isn't because of money and greed, that hopefully that the reason why they did it is because of both of these artists pretty much had the same fan base. I genuinely do feel like that X and Peep did become cool before Peep had passed away, since that before the song of Falling Down started, you heard X had his vocals over, like harmonizing, or you know, he sung a little part of it like it was like a little rough draft.
Let's do that song for Pete. Sunlight on your skin when I'm not around.
And then kind of close near the end of the song, you hear X speaking his mind and talking about how prominent Peep was in the rap game and how special he was and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure they were cool, and if they weren't cool and then he passed, I feel like that was X probably saying that he regrets not being cool with him, and basically X giving him his respects as an artist.
Bro, I feel hella shitty because it's like, yo, like if I would have known he was so cool, and it's like, yo, if I would have watched interviews sooner, bro, we were so alike. It's unfortunate because it's like, yo, when people die, that's when you like, you know? Because your remorse kind of makes you check them out.
And to be honest, I see nothing wrong with that. I do feel like that gives a little bit of closure on how those two was with each other maybe. But the thing is, there's a lot of posthumous albums that I do like, and there's a lot of posthumous albums that I don't like, and I feel like it should have never seen the light of day. Like for example, with X, Skins to me, that was pretty solid. I liked the album. I thought it was different, it was cool. I like everything about it. Then we have Bad Vibes Forever. Should have never been made at all. Even the dumb releases that they had, like the Question Mark Deluxe, when you would think you got some new songs, but it's just voice memos, and they put the Ghetto Christmas album EP on there, which I thought was dumb. I did not like that at all. I thought that was a quick cash grab. Or you have Juice WRLD with Legends Never Die, which I thought that was a solid posthumous project. I feel like you could have stopped right there, and that's a legendary run right there. But no, they had to keep it going. Then that's when you got Fighting Demons. It's been nothing but miss, and I feel like, dude, that's horrible. Even to the point of dropping that weird documentary. I'm not gonna lie, I really thought that Juice WRLD documentary was pretty wicked, because it was nothing but him just like, yeah, he's on tour and he's performing, but you're showing me videos and clips that you have him doing hardcore drugs, and I'm not, as a fan, I'm not rocking with that. I don't want to see that, knowing that's how he went out. That's kind of wicked. Then you got people like Mac Miller. I deeply love how his team is doing his music. They are doing very right by all his stuff. I even have the Balloons record that's on vinyl. I got it on vinyl. That record right there is a freaking masterpiece. Even with someone like Lil Peep, I haven't really been that tapped in with the new releases that Lil Peep had dropped. I know that when he passed and they dropped Come Over When You're Sober Part 2, because to me, I really enjoyed that one. That was a good freaking album. I love that album so much. As what I've been seeing, a lot of the posthumous releases, it was just stuff that was like on his SoundCloud. Throughout time, you know, your label should want to drop some of your own SoundCloud stuff on all platforms. Like, I feel like that would be pretty cool, because X got a lot of songs on his SoundCloud that's only on SoundCloud that I wish I was on all platforms, because I don't want to go to SoundCloud all the time just to listen to one song and then get destroyed by a whole bunch of ads. I also hate posthumous collabs that just doesn't make sense, and they always do X so wrong. I don't know what is wrong with their label, but their label just loves doing X so freaking bad. Lil Uzi and that X song, that I'm Not a Human, should have never been made. I'm sorry. That song right there should have never been made, should have never seen the light of day. And I think that's very hypocritical that Lil Uzi went on that Aiden Ross live stream talking about he wouldn't feel comfortable on doing a song with X knowing that he's gone. And then you turned around and you know what Uzi was talking about in that song. That song was complete garbage. I'm sorry. Then we got the one with him and Juice WRLD. Like, sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, okay, I like this song. And then there's other times when I listen to it and I'm like, bro, why did they do that? I have enough X songs in my life. I had enough Juice WRLD songs in my life. I don't really want any more. because every time they drop it, they don't drop it in a good way. It's always something extra. It's always something more that they're trying to put out there. Because in my mind, now I'm starting to think they're doing it for streams, but it's not getting replayed, at least not by me. I'm sorry. To just summarize how I truly feel about posthumous albums as a whole, especially in the rap community, I don't see the point in dropping thousands of posthumous records from one artist. You know what I'm saying? They were doing that even back from like Tupac and Biggie and Big L. Like, if they was working on an album and just so happened they didn't make it to that album, I feel like it's the label's job to put that one last album out there. Put it out there, maybe a couple years down the road, drop one more, and that's it. Leave it alone. Leave the dead alone. And I understand that's their way to make big money, because who all finna recoup it? Not the artists themselves, because they're not here to recoup all that. I feel like more of that money is basically gonna go to the label, but still, to me, it makes no sense for me to go back on one of my favorite deceased artists' catalog, and I see 3 or 4 projects while they was alive, and they got like 6 posthumous or 10 posthumous albums out there, bro. That should not be a thing. But I think that's gonna be it right here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below. Make sure that you follow me on my Instagram, and make sure that you hit that sub and turn on that post notifications bell so you never miss when I drop another video. We are on a road to 1K, my boy. If we make it to 1K, how long I want to give myself? If we make it to 1K in like 3 months, I'm sending all my subscriber feet pics. I know, calm down, guys, calm down. I understand. I know y'all want these feet pics, bro. You'll get them if I hit 1K in 3 months, bro. But other than that, it's been your boy Smokey. Huh.